Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm trading the ES futures on a 2000 tick chart with a 21 EMA. So I've got the overnight high up here and the overnight low down here. These are our key levels for the day. I started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area right here. And so starting off, we have this uptrend, break, and a push up to a new high. Now, when an uptrend has a break and a new high, it's considered played out, and you can expect price to attempt to reverse. And so we start pushing lower here after that new high, and we start finding support at the EMA, we start getting choppy, and then after we have this push up and push back down, it's pretty clear we're going sideways. And so we're going sideways at this point, and after we push lower there, attempting to reverse, notice we make this new low, we get this two-legged move up, first entry short, second entry short, and we start pushing lower. Now we have this down measured move in play, so this is a good place to look for a short. The uptrend has played out with a break in a new high. We just formed the overnight high, we're coming off of it, and we're getting this second leg down here. Now when we push up here and form this lower high, there is something about it that isn't good, because notice how it closed above the EMA on its high and then had 3 bars in a row that were unable to close back below the EMA. That's not ideal for a short, and so I did not like that. But if this were to close below the EMA, then it would look good. Now on this bar here, when it closes below, you can look to get short with a limit order, because you don't want to expect your target to push through this range low right here. So you would need to enter with a limit order to keep your target within the range, and you just would not have gotten filled in this case here. So it's unfortunate, but this is what I see here, and you just would not have gotten filled on it. And so anyway, we push on lower here. Notice how we have this measured move. It's met, and as soon as it's met, it starts finding resistance, and we start pushing up higher. Now I would not want to just enter directly right here after it reaches it and makes a green bar above the EMA. You do have this trend line in play right here. You're entering into that trend line and you're entering into that low. It could bounce off of them, and then by the time you're entering up here, there's just, your stop is too big, and then you'd have to push your target outside of the range, and so that's just not ideal. And so I don't like any longs right there. We push on up here. Now I just want to show, this uptrend, which has a break and a new high, is really just all one leg on a bigger picture. So this whole push up is one leg on a bigger picture, and then we have a two-legged break, and then we start a second leg up here. So this shows price action levels getting bigger as more time goes on. So each day, as the price action forms, it's going to be getting bigger picture. So at first it was uptrend, break, new high, and then a reversal. And now, as more price action forms, it's really just one leg up. So first leg up, two-legged break, and then the start of the second leg up right here. Now, notice this big up measured move we have in play. We get to about half, or a little bit less than halfway to that measured move, and we're already pushing back down. And we just broke out of the overnight high, and so when you break out of an overnight level or a range high or a range low, you can expect price to attempt to fade. So when you get this push down here, this retest of the overnight high, this is price trying to fade back in and push all the way down back into the overnight level. But we find resistance here, and I just want to say, if you say price does get back into the overnight level, then you would want to look for a reversal pattern and continue the fade and get in on the fade yourself. But if you want to buy the breakout, then you have to wait on 2 attempts to fade and get in on the failure to fade. And so notice here we have this push down, first attempt to fade, and then we start the second attempt to fade, and you can see that we have this measured move drawn out here, and we get 2 legs within this second leg. So first attempt to fade, we start the second attempt, and it has a 2-legged move, and that's because you'll oftentimes get 2-legged moves while trying to reach measured moves. So we push up here, first attempt down, second attempt down. It's clearly forming support right here. Now we have the 2 attempts at this point, so it doesn't need to reach this measured move. We can look for a long at this point, but the problem is we have this trend line right in play. It's right in the way, and you don't want to enter directly into that, especially when you're also entering into the EMA. You're entering into the EMA and into that trend line. It's just not ideal. But I understand why you would want to look for a long here. I was looking for a long here because, once again, we have that push down, break, first attempt to reach a measured move, second attempt. At this point, we could expect a failure off of that support. But anyway, unfortunately, no way to get in on there safely. So starting from here, we have these couple legs up right here. this range highs, I like to extend it as there's little breakouts, so it's a little bit higher now. We push lower here. Unfortunately, there isn't any real good trades in this area. It is pretty choppy, and finally we push up again. Also, I did have this wider range at this point drawn to see how price reacts to it. First, we push on out, then we start pushing on down, and then we get some pretty clear reaction to it here. But it really just goes sideways, and unfortunately there's no trades in that area. And there was no trades on the way down here either. And I know someone might ask me about this right here, because you can see from the tick you have first entry long, ticks higher there, then second entry long, failure. So to me, I don't see a good failed second entry here. I just see a move down. To me, these ticks higher, I don't care about little ticks higher. I need to see clear trend breaks and clear separation between the legs. So I just see one move down right here. I don't consider this to be a good entry worthy failed second entry, but it does end up pushing on down. And so anyway, we get down to the range low, we start finding resistance, we get really choppy, we start forming this range here, and then we push up. And then I just want to show here, we have a couple, we have push up here, we attempt to push back down, we push back up, and at this point you can draw a trend line off of this because we're clearly unable, or sorry, I didn't mean to go back that far. We're clearly unable to reverse back down and fade the range, so we clearly have some bullish bias here. And so we have this trend line here, we push on up here, and then we break back out of that range, and then we attempt to fade back in, and then we do fade back in, but we find resistance right at this trend line again. Push up, more resistance right off of it. Of course, you don't want to enter directly into the high and into the EMA at the same time. And then when you close above here, I don't like this second leg down enough anyway. It's just one leg break, and then the second leg is so much shorter, and you don't have a second attempt down at the measured move. Of course, what I mean by that is you have this measured move down here, and then on the break, you only have that one attempt to reach it. So I would not want to just enter on that. But then here, we push on up, and then we retest that level again, this range high, and then we continue higher. And so I did like this a lot right here. This one was pretty clear. I went for a little bit more than 1-to-1 because I could keep my target within that high right there. And considering the clear bullish imbalance, we're clearly, the fade failed. We have this trend line holding here, pretty good push up there. I thought that it was good to push it as far as possible. So if I extend this out, you can see here that it was just within the very top of it. So anyway, we push on up here, we get this first entry here. It's just a first entry, so it's not worth taking. And then push up, same thing again here. We get this first entry, we get a little below the EMA, but even if we did perfectly hold, it's still just a first entry, so you don't want to take that. Push up, reach that high, or I didn't mean to go back there. And then that's basically it for the day. Again, first entry not reaching the EMA, no way you'd want to take that. And now we just overshot. And so yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Some overshoots tend to lead to breaks, and sometimes they won't lead to breaks, but they'll oftentimes lead to very sharp moves down. So, we'll see what happens. This is really the only trade I like today. Nothing else was very clear, and like I said, there was some temptation in this area here, but there was just too much clear trend line blocking it. So no way that I would want to take that. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Hope it helped out in some way, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.